Hello, everyone. Welcome to the undergraduate webinar series, an interactive online platform connecting high school students to the Ashoka community. I am Priya Basumatari. I'm an assistant manager at the Office of Outreach, Ashoka University, and I'm also an alumna from the 2021 undergraduate batch. During my time at Ashoka, I majored in political science with a minor in history, and I also took part in various extracurricular activities. Thank you for joining us today for the Ashoka Experience webinar. Today, we'll be speaking with some of our students who will talk about their experiences at Ashoka University and the kind of environment one can expect here. I would like to welcome our panel of speakers. Today, we have with us Shaurya Walia, Yash Keshan, Anya Malik, Ziv Barreto, and Rehan Sandhu. Students, please introduce yourselves. Let's start with you, Shaurya.
Right. Hi, my name is Shaurya. I am a second year, currently pursuing a major in economics, a minor in international relations, and a concentration in entrepreneurship. I live in Gurgaon, and my Ashoka journey so far has been very fruitful, and I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for the introduction, Shaurya. Over to you, Yash.
Hi everyone, I'm Yash Kishan. I'm a second year maths major. Uh, I'm currently coming in my fourth semester and I'm currently in Hyderabad and I'm part of AIC, which is Ashoka's investment club, and I play table tennis as well.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Yash. How about you, Anya?
Hi everyone, I'm Anya Malik. I'm from Chandigarh. I am currently pursuing a degree in political science, economics, and philosophy, which is a PPE degree, and I'm also looking at a minor in entrepreneurship. Currently, I do have a lot of interests, which I will discuss further in this webinar.
Wow, those are certainly a lot of different disciplines. How about you, Ziv?
Hi everyone, my name is Ziv. I'm currently a second year living in Bombay. So I am pursuing a computer science degree with a minor in maths. And I am a part of the CS Society, the Tech Ministry, and the Apple Cellos, which is Ashoka's a cappella group.
Wow, we have a budding politician here. Good, good. Last but not the least, Rehan.
Hi, I'm Rehan Sandhu. I'm from Chandigarh and I'm pursuing a major in biology, a minor in psychology, and if I have the time, then a concentration in media studies, but that's not decided yet. And I'm glad to be here.
All right, thank you so much for the introduction. All right, without further ado, let's get started. Audience, kindly type your questions in the Q&A box on your Zoom screen, and we will take them up a little later. So let's start with questions for our panelists. Right. So starting with you, Shaurya, what led you to choose Ashoka for your undergraduate program?
Well, so since the beginning, I was very firm on my decision to come into Ashoka. And I had a very unique take on it, partially because I didn't come to Ashoka because of the faculty. No wonder they're the best faculty in the world, according to me. But I came into Ashoka because of Ashoka's unique teaching methods. I mean, Ashoka gives you a sense of curiousness, you know. They teach you on how to think rather than forcing things on you. They'll teach you how to think rather than what to think. You know, they'll teach you how to question the stereotypes. They'll teach you to question the already accepting things that you think that they already exist in a society. So I think this was my primary fundamental in coming into Ashoka, and so far so good.
Thank you so much for that. Would anyone else like to take up that question? What led you to choosing Ashoka?
I think I'll go next. I do think that choosing Ashoka, like a major part of it was the fact that PPE is not offered by a lot of universities in India. In fact, I think Ashoka is one of the only universities that does offer it. And I do think like one of my major reasons for choosing Ashoka was the faculty in itself, because you have such impressive faculty from all over the world who've done masters from such prestigious universities who are coming here to teach us. And you will have a lot of visiting faculty as well, which is not common in a lot of universities. So my one of my major motivations was definitely the faculty.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to take that up? Yeah, sure, Yash.
Yeah, one of my major reasons was like I wanted to study mathematics at some point of my in my career, and I wanted to study maths in at least at an undergraduate level in India, and after all the other private other government institutes like Indian Statistical Institute, Ashoka had the one of the best faculty members, and especially its HOD Rajendra Bhatia. Professor Rajendra Bhatia was great, so I wanted to learn more and study more. So that's one of my primary reasons coming to Ashoka.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Ziv, how about you?
Yeah, so I think everyone has pretty much covered the gist of it. But again, like even the CS faculty is like really good because they get professors from IITs, the ISIs, and top universities abroad, which is like a really good factor. And the second thing is Ashoka has got some really good placements for your masters. And these were like two of my main factors into coming into Ashoka for me. And yeah.
All right. Before I jump to Rehan, Shorai, did you want to add something?
Yeah,
You had
just
your
wanted
hand
to
up.
add something. Apart from the faculty, Ashoka also offers multiple programs. For example, it offers you a thing called independent study module where you can work hand in hand with a teacher, with a faculty. And I don't think that any other institute in India, as far as I'm aware, offers this kind of programs. We also have various discussion sessions in which we interact with our professors, in which we interact with our teaching assistants. So I think all of these reasons combined make Ashoka very unique and a different place.
Thank you so much for covering ISMs for us, Sharia. How about you, Rehan?
Yeah, so Shaurya stole some of her points, and one of her major reasons were like these things, especially independent study modules. So, like, if you're interested about a topic, like for example, I always wanted to research on Alzheimer's, like, I'm into neuroscience and I'm into biology or something like that. I can just reach out to Professor Bittu, and then he can always, like, help me. He can come over and supervise the whole research thing, and then for that research also I will get 2 credits. Like I can do that, pursue that research for a semester, and then I can get 2 credits for that also, like, these things. And especially discussion sessions, for example, in my introduction to neuroscience course, there were over 220 kids in my class. So I never really like spoke, like I always got a bit anxious and a bit conscious. So but in my discussion sessions, which are one-to-one sessions with the teaching fellow, I really got the opportunity to express myself and to ask all the questions that I needed to be answered. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Rehan. Anya, you had something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit about the liberal arts structure as well of the university. So, a great thing that we do have about Ashoka is that I'm currently in my second year and I've just had to declare my major for the first time. I do have another option to do it around my second semester in my second year as well. So you have time until your second year to sit and explore different sort of subjects, decide what is for you, what is not for you, and then further sort of decide. And also one more point that came to my mind when Rehan was talking was the fact that we can apply as teaching assistants. So you actually work with different professors and you get credits. So if you love a course, you can work as a teaching assistant with them. So there are a lot of like work opportunities as well, which is not something that a lot of universities do offer. So that's just something that came to mind.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Anya. Now that we're still on academics, Ziv, I had a question for you. You are majoring in computer science with a minor in mathematics. What are some of the most interesting aspects of doing this combination?
So far it's been quite an interesting journey. The university offers us a huge variety of courses to choose from, and many of which emphasize on the interconnectivity between these fields. So, like a few examples that I could give from personal experience would be in courses such as calculus. So, calculus essentially forms the backbone of like algorithm analysis, which is basically the understanding of how efficient your code is working and how you could better improve it. Now, we also see a crossover between math and computer science in subjects like algebra 1 and cryptography in like the form of hashing. So hashing is like assigning each item a unique fingerprint so that it's easier to find, or like a faster way to find the item in a large collection of data. So just by doing math and CS, I can see like the underlying working process of each thing in more detail. And I think that's like a really good thing. Now, another fun thing that a lot of the professors do in the classroom is towards of the end of the course, we do like a small coding sprint for the week. And this is essentially got different levels of difficulty of coding. And this is done so that students can apply what they have learned to tackle real world problems. And some professors will also make you do like a final project instead of the coding week. Now, the university also has a good research facility called the Emphasis Lab, and its faculty members are really approachable, so they'll always give you a good research endeavor based on your personal interests. And yeah, that's about it.
Thanks for covering all of that, Ziv. Over to you, Shaurya. How has your academic journey been so far? You seem to be doing multiple things: economics, international relations, entrepreneurship. How do all these disciplines overlap, and what are some of the technical and soft skills that you have learned during your journey?
Well, my academic journey, that's a good question. It has been tedious, but it has been good. So indeed, I am doing a multiple things, and people have told me that I'm doing a lot of things. But I think that economics as a major has multiple overlaps with especially what I'm doing. Like I'm doing a minor in international relations and a concentration in entrepreneurship, right? Economics has given me a particular skill set which encourages me to critically think and analyze, right, which is essential for half of the courses that I'm doing. For example, in international relations, we have this course called international conflict analysis, where we are essentially analyzing various global conflicts which are happening. In entrepreneurship, we have to analyze various business ventures. So I think that it has multiple overlaps. Then talking about unique courses, I think economics as a major has also multiple cross-listed courses with international relations and with finance. So I think that's just that just encourages me to go all in and just give it my best shot.
Thank you so much for that, Shaurya. Over to you, Anya. You are doing politics, philosophy, and economics major at Ashoka, which is not usually offered by many universities in India. Can you tell us why you chose this program and how is it helping you shape your understanding of the world?
Hi, yeah, so definitely I touched upon this slightly before. I really wanted to do a PP major, and when I did like initially apply to college, I found that it was not available in a lot of universities, and it usually has about 116 credits, which is more credits than most courses do. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because it opens up a lot of avenues. And the reason why I chose Ashoka was because there were a lot of good placement opportunities as well. So they're very good economic. It opens my avenues into economics related businesses or economics related ventures, and it doesn't limit me to not doing something within political science or public policy or philosophy. So I think the reason why I chose Ashoka was definitely a little bit more about the placements, which is on our website as well. I think the reason why it's like shaping my understanding is because of the courses that I've taken. So I think we did touch upon this a little bit. There are a lot of cross-listed courses that are available. So currently we do have political science and international relations cross-listed courses. So over there you get to explore not just like one particular subject, but so many. With this sort of liberal arts like module, I think it helps me really understand where I want to go, and it opens up a lot of avenues for me, as I don't want to just stick to one thing. So even if I do want to go to the finance side of it, that option is always open. And even if I do want to go into like public policy or policy making, which Ashoka has very good internships with our internship cell, in fact. It helps me there.
As someone who's worked in the placement cell, as someone who's worked in the Ashoka internship cell, I can relate to that. Thank you so much for answering that, Anya. Now, just one second. Yeah, Rehan, you have chosen a very interesting combination of pursuing biology major and a psychology minor. Can you tell us what made you go for this combination of subjects and how do you see your career taking shape? I know you've covered a bit of Alzheimer and your research work with bit too, but if you could just highlight more of it, because we see a lot of students interested in psychology and they look at psychology and the only thing that comes to their mind is being a therapist. But of course, there's a lot more to that. So if you could just elaborate.
Yeah, so back in high school, I always loved biology, but psychology like didn't cross my mind. Once I came to college, though, I jumped at the chance to dive into psychology, taking advantage of an introductory course for newcomers like me, like which does not require any prerequisites. So the flexibility offered by cross-listed courses was also a great help because I was able to take an introduction to neuroscience course, which where I was able to apply my knowledge from both psychology and biology, and in fact. After this course, I decided I want to pursue a career in neuroscience itself. So, like, so you have that option. If you don't want to become a therapist, you can you can do a minor in bio, like if you're majoring in psychology, right? And then you can just go into neuroscience, and then after that you can go into neuromarketing. So there are a lot of different domains that you can actually explore in Ashoka.
I love the neuromarketing bit because that's something that's very rare and not heard of. So maybe we'll touch upon that at some later point during our webinar. Over to you, Yash. You are majoring in maths alongside minor in economics. So why maths? Is math taught in an interdisciplinary manner, or how is it different from learning mathematics in school? How has your experience been so far?
When when apart from the school level, it's like when you come to the college and you take different courses, it's a gradual shift in the maths you do. Like there's a more pure maths involved, and if you do computer science or other courses, that's like more applied maths there too. It's like it's actually much more rigorous as compared to other courses, and yeah, it's you need to develop your thinking, and as the courses progress, like each sem you need to take electives in your second year, and then by the end of the third year, like you're already done with three electives, and then in the fourth year you need to do more five electives. So you need to develop more skills, and it changes a lot as compared to other courses. It's maths is only offered with CS as an interdisciplinary major. It's because you can relate more to that in computer science. And yeah, like you have a basic course calculus, which is common for most of the it's a prereq for almost every other course. So not just maths, and if you take economics or if you take physics or you take computer science, usually you need to take calculus. It's because maths is involved most of the places. So it's very important. Like if you're doing a math major, I think you'll be open to a lot of options in your future.
Thank you so much for that, Yash. I have a question for Ziv. You are a part of the Computer Science Society at Ashoka amongst some of the other students' clubs and societies. What does the CS Society do exactly? Is it completely student run? What is your contribution to the society?
Yeah, so the CS Society is founded to mainly strengthen the emerging CS culture on campus. And it is an academic society that aims to create opportunities and resources for all students interested in this field through a host of activities. Now, this year, our main focus is to motivate students to contribute to open source projects online, like through GitHub. And this helps with developing an interest in all things CS related, and it's also for other majors. Is it like even though they've not got too much of a CS background? Now, this society is completely student run, but we do have faculty advisors to guide us throughout our process. So we'll have, and we also have the CS representatives to guide us through it too. Now, the society consists of four departments, and I am currently a member of the events team. So, our main goal is to essentially ideate and execute events for not only gauging an interest in CS, but in also helping the different majors with their tech stuff they are learning. For example, if a course requires you to learn coding in the language C, we will host a C workshop to help these students. And we've also done other events like speed typing competitions, our own hackathon, and movie and gaming night too. So it's just a bunch of events to just help everyone in CS.
Movie and games night, huh? That does sound interesting. As someone who's been a part of Navrang the Film Society, you guys have been stealing our ideas lately, huh? But moving on from that, Shaurya, you've been a part of multiple clubs and societies at Ashoka. Can you name a few of them for us? What does each club or society represent? I also know that you're a part of the anti-ragging committee. So, what is your role in that? Also, how do you balance everything, academics
Um,
versus extracurricular?
Yeah. So, yes, I have been a part of multiple societies. I've been a co-member of the Ashoka Negotiation Club. I have been a part of the Ashoka Mall United Nations Club. I've been part of the Economic Society at Ashoka and a part of Ashoka Society for International Trade and Foreign Policy. So I have had my well-rounded experience. But, after doing all that, I decided that this is not something which I really want to do. I wanted to start something of my own. So even in terms of that, Ashoka has helped me a lot. We have the Center for Entrepreneurship, as you may know. I went to them. They guided me throughout. So in terms of doing something of your own, or even in terms of clubs and societies, we have a very supportive environment. Um, Secondly, coming to the anti-ragging committee part of it, well, anti-ragging committee was indeed a very unique experience which I had. I was elected as the member of ARC in my first year, and I was the student representative of the anti-ragging committee. My primary responsibility was to clarify any doubts or any matters which new freshers may have when they come to Ashoka University, and I believe I did a good job. So yeah, and coming on to the balancing part of it, yes, balancing is something which initially I found it very difficult to do, but I think this is just something which Ashoka instills in you, and you learn, while you go. So yeah.
Yeah, just along the balancing lines, I just wanted to add every time I meet a student or a parent and they ask similar questions, how are you managing all these things? You guys are doing internships in first year. You have so many research papers to write because we don't, or not all courses have exams. They mostly have research papers. How are you managing all of this? So I always end up telling them that at Ashoka, you're really treated like an adult. And as an adult, it's your responsibility to divide your time accordingly. If one semester you want to focus more on academics, sure, take up more courses. You can take minimum of 3 and maximum of 6. Take up more courses, work on your academics. Next semester, maybe take 3 courses and focus more on your extracurricular. Maybe you're a sports person, and next semester the sports fest is going to happen. Agnipath is coming up. You know you're going to be involved in that. So just divide your coursework and your extracurriculars accordingly. You have that flexibility and you have that independence at Ashoka. All right. So now I have a question for Anya. So why don't you tell us something about your interests? Does Ashoka provide the opportunity to nurture and own your passion apart from academics? Like, what are some of the clubs and societies that you're part of?
Yeah. So I think Ashoka is a great place for extracurriculars because when I came from school, I was running my own NGO. I had a bunch of things that I was involved in. Because academics is definitely one part of college, but a major part of college life is also your extracurriculars. So we do have, like, let's talk about co-curriculars first, which is known as a CC. So Ashoka essentially offers you credits for doing 1 or 2 mandatory CCs. So there were a lot of fun CCs at least this semester. There was tango. There was learning the art of photography. There was learning different dances of Punjab, basic understanding of rural India. So stuff like that, which is really engaging, and these are like actual courses that you can do. So it's of you have your very heavy related courses. For example, for PP, you have your Pol core requirements, field requirements, econ requirements, but then you also have your CCs, which is sort of like a breather. And you also, the best part is you do get credits for it and you get graded for it. But it's very interesting because it really keeps you engaging and it makes you realize that, it gives you the perfect breather from academics. Life at Ashoka is actually very balanced because we have a great sports complex as well, where you have your basketball court. We have around 2 to 3 basketball courts. We have a lot of wide range of sports that have been offered by Ashoka as well. So I'm currently a part of CLAD, which is the fashion club at Ashoka, and a part of her campus Ashoka as well. So I was always like very into volunteering, as I was involved in a lot of NGOs before. So there's also Club Positive, which essentially you can go and feed the stray dogs which are nearby outside campus, or you can raise money through clubs like CLAD and her campus for different sort of causes. So I do know that we've had a lot of tie-ups in the past with different people from Delhi, from Bombay, from all over who come, talk, have thrift stalls, essentially, raising money for causes and donating. So if you're someone who's very involved in volunteer work, It's actually very interesting, and there's definitely a place for that in Ashoka as well. If you are, let's say, a singer or a dancer, we do have Abhinaya, which is one of our most prestigious clubs, which has this wonderful showcase every at the end of every semester, where they have different sort of dance teams as well, and within that there are also integrated dance forms. So you have an Indian classical team, you also have a Western core team. And for Vistar, it's again like a singing and musical instruments club. So very involved, and there's like a wide range of extracurriculars that's there. In fact, our emails are always flooded with something or the other, a different fest that's happening, usually outside the mess, where some event or the other will be happening, some fundraising sort of campaign will be going on. Just very quick, and someone else can cover this later as well. We do have ABA and APL, which is personally my most exciting part about Ashoka, where you can either play, if you're a sportsman, you can play a team or you can own a team. Since I'm not very great at sports, I decided that I wanted to own a team this year. And at our seventh edition for the ABA, which is our Ashoka Basketball Association, you can own a team, and it's an entire experience. You bid for different players, fake money, of course, and you sort of, you have that team bonding experience. You can try out different things, you can play different things. So it's a very involved sort of community where it's a good way to make friends, network, get to know people, and have a breather from, of course, the rigor that Ashoka does provide with our academics.
You've refreshed a lot of memories for me, Anya. Thank you so much for that. In fact, she mentioned co-curriculars. So, on paper, you're supposed to do only two co-curriculars. I mean, that's mandatory. But everyone ends up taking a co-curricular every semester because they're that engaging, and everyone needs that breather. So, thank you so much for that, Anya. Now, jumping to Rehan, while you're a part of the BioSoc, which is the Bio Society, which is in sync with your major, interestingly, you're also involved with Econ Society. So, how did you end up there?
So yeah, people do often wonder why, as a bio major, I'm involved with the Economic Society. A question that even popped up in my Economic Society's interview, like, what are you doing here? Like, what do you want to do here? So the decision to join EconSoc was after I attended their major annual event, that's Equilibrium. Despite not being an economics major, I found the marketing aspect of the event quite interesting and decided to become a part of the team, like the marketing team, to explore this particular avenue. I decided to join their team, aiming to lend my editing skills to their promotional content while also building my own abilities. Like recently, like I made a Peaky Blinders themed trailer for their upcoming Equilibrium event, and through my collaboration with the Econ Society's marketing team, I sort of discovered a newfound passion for filmmaking, and now I'm contemplating delving into a concentration of in media studies, like if I have the time again. So the point I'm actually trying to make is that at Ashoka there are no restrictions to like on exploration. Like regardless of your major, you're always encouraged to learn and grow in various domains.
Thank you so much for that, Rehan. And I've seen so many weird combinations at Ashoka, people studying literature with mathematics, philosophy with mathematics, and being a part of I don't know, the Broadway Club, the gaming society. So things like that happen at Ashoka. They just do. So now I have a question for Yash. You are a national level table tennis player and a part of the team at Ashoka. My question to you is, does Ashoka provide the space and opportunity to further your skills and compete in various national and international tournaments? I'm also intrigued to know about the Ashoka Investment Club that you're a part of.
I mean, the training sessions which happen every day, there are a lot of facilities and resources available. We have our own table tennis arena, which is there in Ashoka, as well as there's a coach who is himself a national table tennis player who comes every day and trains us. So we got all the resources and like everything we need to like improve our game. And at the same time, we have all over the year a lot of private university tournaments which keep happening. There's a Jindal tournament. Even you mentioned Agnipath, which is coming up in February. So there are a lot of tournaments. You go to Bids Goa, so you like your competitive spirit is improving. At the same time, you're learning. Like you're basically getting to you're being recognized because you play good, and like you're learning skills, and that's how like Ashoka builds you because of all the facilities it offers. And talking about Ashoka Investment Club, people who have interest in finance, suppose they want to, like, it establishes a passion for research or analysis, and fosters investment ethos. So it's a lot of things you learn. You learn company management, you learn how to analyze annual reports, qualitative reports. So you learn a lot of things in investment club as well. Like, it teaches you, like, it basically divides in you into group and gives you certain limit, and then you make a proper presentation, so it develops you on how you'll be giving future presentations or meetings, or how do you analyze a stock. So there are a lot of things which Ashoka Investment Club does. And yeah, like that's all.
Thank you so much for adding to that, Yash, because I always get this question that, okay, Ashoka is liberal arts, so it's meant for art students, or you're doing a lot of science research, so it's for arts and science students. What about us commerce people? What do we do? So, this is the answer. I mean, the best minor that you can go for is entrepreneurship. And I think I just saw somebody asking that it's not available as a major option because currently we only have it as a minor. In case you'd like to do it as an interdisciplinary major, you can do that along with computer science, but for that you will require maths in 11th and 12th. You have Ashoka Investment Club, you have Case Studies Club. A lot of Ashokans aspire to go into consultancy right after their undergraduate programs. So we use all these clubs, their networks, and the workshops that they do for our placement cycles as well. And the courses in the entrepreneurship department are very similar to what you study in a B school. Recently, I think there was a course on real estate as well. One of the faculty members took the students out to a real estate, an infrastructure company's office or site, something along those lines. I think Shaurya and Anya have something to add here. Shaurya, followed by Anya.
Yeah, so as you said, coming from an econ background myself, and doing a concentration in entrepreneurship, I would just like to put it out there that, if you're aiming for a consultancy, we have multiple partners from BCG, Bain and Co, McKinsey, which come here and teach us entrepreneurship, right? My professor, like there was this course which I was taking last time called Venture Planning and Strategy. My professor was a IIM professor. His name is Mukesh Sood. So, coming under their guidance is like a dream come true. So it's not like just because Ashoka is a liberal arts university, which I think is a huge strength which Ashoka has. I think even commerce that Ashoka offers is very, very good.
Yeah, so to simply sort of break it down, I taken my first entrepreneurship course in my first semester, and the great thing is that we have like different 1,000 level, 2,000 level courses, so you know when to take your courses, how much you've done, so that it's not too advanced or too basic for you as well. So the reason why I find entrepreneurship as like a very good minor option is because most of these professors, to simply break it down, are ex-CEOs of companies or current CEOs of companies. So it's directly like sort of working with them, and you get opportunities. If you're doing well in that class, you get opportunities. And in fact, they do take you on a lot of field trips, as Priya had just mentioned earlier. And essentially, I had my intro to marketing, which is the most basic 1,000 level course that you can take, which you'll probably be taking in your first year if you do plan to. And essentially, you study different modules. For example, you can build up mock companies, different modules. For example, I do remember that we had a proper KitKat related project that we worked on for a solid 3 months. So to work on that project, sort of, make it your own baby and constantly work at it to sort of understand it. I think it's very real life demo examples. And to work with that faculty is like on ground, similar to on ground experience as well.
Thank you so much for adding to that, Anya. I think we really needed this myth buster for our commerce audience members. Now, this is my last question to you guys, and then we'll move on to the audience questions. This is for everyone, and this is something that a lot of audience members have also been asking. We want to know more about your experience of applying to Ashoka, the undergraduate program, the before, during, and after. So let's start with Yash. How was your experience applying to Shoka? Feel free to go in depth about letter of recommendation, essays, and things like that.
Okay, so like first of all, I was at that point, like I applied in round 3. I was not exactly planning to apply, but I was planning to take a drop year, but I happened to apply, and I wanted to make the application not just like, I wanted to make it little different. For example, we were asked curriculars, co-curriculars, 5 co-curriculars at that time. And like if you're telling, for example, I wrote table tennis, so I just didn't provide certificates. I provided videos of me playing as a proof also. So like you just need to think outside the box, and like how can you make the application better when you write the essays, like be it like more, which is more personal, that I think that would be better. And then like yeah, academic books, I don't think like you can write whatever you written. And yeah, like I focus more on making it more personal and showing that yeah, whatever I'm writing is like what I did. And with letter of recommendation, I got it from my math professor since I was applying for mathematics major. So I thought that's a better choice. And yeah, like few research papers I provided, that whatever I've written. So it's like more whatever you have done, plus like just think outside the box, and make your application much better.
Thanks for that. How about you, Zib? How was your experience?
Yeah, so the application process was, like, honestly speaking, quite stressful, but it was also quite fun to do. So I believe for my essay, like I thought I'd do it a bit out of the box. So I basically made my whole academic journey in the form of like a concert, where I, basically made the highs and lows of like the opera playing as like the highs and lows in my academic journey, the struggles I faced. So I think essentially when you're writing your essay, if you could just, find a way to make it more interesting by giving like an analogy of sort, would make it nice. For my letter of recommendations, I'd asked my CS and math professors to give me a recommendation. Now, uh, I'd say the interview process went quite smoothly. So what I realized is for Shoka, it's a three process, right? Where you give your application, you have an entrance exam test, and you have an interview. So for the incoming applicants, I'd say that even if you're worried about say one of the three components not going well, you still have the two out of the three components to make up for it. So just make sure you always strengthen at least two, if not all three of them, and I think you should be fine. Yeah.
Thanks for that. How about you, Rehan?
Yeah, so the application process was indeed like quite stressful. Like now I can recall, and all those emotions are coming back. So yeah, I applied in round four. I wasn't planning on coming to Ashoka. I wanted to go to Germany initially, but that didn't happen. And the application process was actually like it was quite nice. The essays, especially, I remember the essays quite vividly. There was this one topic that I had to share a personal experience that quite like shaped my life and sort of shaped my personality. So I wrote that essay, and that was a very, very personal essay. I wrote that essay on a dog. Like I was working at a dog shelter, and I was petting the dog, and the dog had maggots, like like in his the brain and like different places. The dog was like quite weak, and so I wrote about that, like how the dog died in my arms and everything, and like it was that personal, like and how I just realized like how life actually is, the the bubble of privilege and everything. I wrote about all of that like in my essay. Like it was a very like I think I still have a PDF of that. Like I read it sometimes. So I feel the journey of filling the application is not just like related to your grades. Like grades are not everything. That's what I learned in Ashoka. Like as my family, as my relatives, they kept telling me 10th ke boards kar lo, 12th ke boards kar lo, ye isse life mein jayegi. That's not it. It's actually like it's actually like Ashoka really takes into account like a lot of different things, like extracurriculars and all of that, especially. And my interview compared to other colleges, it was not exactly like an interview. It was more like a conversation. It was more like a conversation. I still remember picking up my dog during my interview and making his paw wave at the interview. Like it was, it was actually like a conversation. It lasted for 40-45 minutes. So yeah, that is actually quite interesting. One of the like most unique application processes I've gone through.
Thanks for sharing that story, Rehan. Yes, Yash, you had something to say?
Actually, I just saw one of the questions which said that how do you put a video like in the co-curriculars in the applications section. I'll just explain how I did it. So like you just have a video which you go and register yourself in YouTube and like unlist it and just put the link on a Google Doc and then just submit the Google Doc. That's how you do that. And also I wanted to say about mathematics that when if you're providing a specific subject as a co-curricular, for example, I provided mathematics and how I liked it. So there you can also provide indoor document with along with your certificate. You can showcase that you have done a problem which is very difficult or which was very different from the other problems or which you thought was very different for you, like, or if you suppose took up suppose I participated in Boston maths competition which is promise, so I just provided it with whatever I solved there and how difficult or what type of questions there was, which shows that how I know whatever I'm doing. So that can be also one thing of that.
Yeah, thanks for adding that, Yash. I hope that helped the audience member. Yeah, Anya, you had your hand raised. After
Yeah.
that, Ziv, you can go.
Yeah, so I did want to address the admissions process and also a question related to it, which is talked about the marks. So the good thing about Ashoka that I'd like you to know is that it's not just your academic marks which you look at, it's a very well-rounded profile. So it's not that there's a particular cutoff that you only need a 99 to get in. There's nothing like that. There are a lot of bunch of exams, and they also do consider other exams that you may have given. So you do have an option to submit on the profile itself. They have a very good portal where you can upload everything and all of your requirements are there. They want to know all about your co-curriculars. I would say be very important. It'll be very important with choosing what you want to put in. Sometimes it's not relevant to put in 50 MUNs in one line. Probably put in the ones that had an impact with you. So probably that shortlisting of your profile is something that definitely you should address in the next webinar as well and ask. But just like making your profile concise and to what your interests are. So they want to get to know you is the best way that I could explain it. Essentially, so I'm from Chandigarh, and over here there are a lot of roundabouts because it's a very well planned city. So essentially, what my essay was about roundabouts. And it was the most odd idea you could think of, but it's the way that I made the entire analogy of every roundabout and every turn at it being a different opportunity or a different outlook in my life, which led me to the stage where I am to apply in this admissions process. Um, the interview, like the guys had said, the boys had said earlier, is a more of a conversation. So they want to get to know you, they want to get to know your interests. So don't feel very intimidated by that. In fact, be very honest and genuine with the work that you've done in the past, what you plan to do in Ashoka, and why Ashoka would sort of be a platform for you to hone your interests even further. So we do recognize that all of like the talent pool that comes, they're all very, very well-rounded and very, very smart kids. But what makes you different and what sort of sets you apart is how you project yourself through the entire interview process. There is also the Ashoka aptitude test, which takes place, which is an on-the-spot essay as well as aptitude test. I think the best way to prepare for that would be to go online and type Cambridge TSA sample papers, which is something that really helped me. And sort of hone your interest. Don't probably put a lot of cluster of things. In fact, even if you focus on one thing and explain why that thing meant so much to you, from what height to what height you've got it, I think that would be a good way to go about it. At least for personally for me, it was. But obviously, all of us have our individual experiences. So.
Thank you so much for covering all the aspects, Anya. I think Ziv had something to say, and then Rehan
Yeah,
raised his hand. So we'll go with Riv and then Rehan.
yeah. So I just had one clarification that all of us said that we like applied in different rounds. So I just want to clarify that no matter which round you apply in, you still have like the same chances of getting into Ashoka. So it doesn't matter if you apply early on, even if you apply in round four, you still have the same probability of getting into Ashoka as any of the other rounds. So that was my only clarification. Yeah.
But you definitely don't want to be on the wait list because there are very limited seats as well. So you should apply as early as possible because you know it's very secure. You give your boards with a good mindset because you want to do well, and it's always a better idea to apply first. In fact, in the next round is when I applied, round two. So I think it's a
Yeah.
great idea to apply then because there are limited amount of seats. So again, you don't want to get stuck on the wait list in round four. It's better to have a secure decision earlier the better.
Thanks, Anya. Thanks, Ziv. Yes, Ziv is right. If you don't think round two is the round for you, something's going on in your life, feel free to go to round three, feel free to go to round four if something comes up in round three as well. But applying early does have its advantages because you have that peace of mind already. There are other entrance examinations that class 12s also go through. They have to prepare for, right? So I also applied in round two, and I had my results even before my boards exams had started. So I gave my board exams with such peace of mind. That's one of the benefits that you can look at. But of course, if something's up, you're more occupied, then feel free to jump to other rounds. We have four rounds for a reason, so feel free to shift rounds in case something's not right now in your life. Yeah, Rehan, you had your hand raised.
So I just wanted to highlight that, like, after you get admitted into Ashoka, like, so I basically forgot to highlight that initially, but after you get admitted, you do go through a series of, like, orientations, and like there are different webinars that you can attend to exactly understand what is Ashoka, what is an ISM, or again, like, what is a cross-listed course, for example, and all of that. So they basically, that really helps you plan your trajectory before the semester starts, and I just wanted to mention that.
All right, thank you so much, Rehan. I think Shara is the only one left, so if you could just throw some light on your application journey, and then we'll move on to the audience questions.
All right, so I'll just make it quick. I think we're running out of time, but so yes, even I applied in round two, and even I got my results before giving the board. So I gave my boards in a very light-headed. I was stress-free when I gave my boards. As far as the application process is concerned, my only advice will be to be yourself. Don't lie about yourself. Be who you are, and it should reflect in your application that okay, it's like the reader should know that okay, this is the application of a particular person who has done this. It should signify who you are. It should depict your identity. So yeah, I think that's what my focus was while I was typing out my application. As far as the interview is concerned, I think like Rehan said, my interview as well was basically very conversational. So I think it was nothing but a conversation, and I still remember that the person who was taking my interview, they tried really hard to make me get comfortable, and I think I really liked that. So yeah, overall, I think it was a very well-rounded experience for me.
Thank you, Shaurya. Yes, the interviews are fun. I remember cracking a bunch of jokes in my interview. Not ideal, but I think that worked for me. But you do you. All right. So a lot of students had asked when we started the webinar about scholarships and financial aid. So I'm just going to cover this bit, and if any one of you have anything to add here, feel free to do so. So Ashoka has financial aid and merit cum means scholarship for a CS and the sciences. Okay. Now, what is financial aid? Financial aid is a process that begins only after you have received a confirmed offer of admission. Okay, you've gone through admissions process and you've received a confirmed offer. Then financial aid procedure begins. We look at your financial background and see based on the documents that we ask for how much fee can you pay at Ashoka. Okay, and accordingly a percentage of your fee is going to be waived off. So we look at your financial background and tell you how much fee will you be paying. This is financial aid. This starts when you have received a confirmed offer of admission. There are a bunch of documents that we look at to confirm this. The list of documents is also available on the website as along with a sample financial aid application form. We have waived from 15 to 100% fee for students. Last year itself, we waived off around 78 crores in terms of tuition for students, and we have overall waived off more than 500 crores for students' fees in financial aid at Ashoka. Okay, so that is financial aid. Now, apart from that, we have something called merit cum means scholarship. Now, this is only for the sciences. Okay. For everyone else, including sciences, we have financial aid. And then we have something called merit cum means scholarship only for the sciences. Here, the criterias are slightly different. Here, you have to meet a percentage. You have to get a specific rank in a particular examination. I'm not going in depth because all of this is available on the website, and we need to cover other questions. But yes, you need to meet certain percentage or meet a rank in a specific examination to avail that scholarship. Okay, so we have financial aid as well as merit cum means scholarship, currently only for the sciences. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm a humanities student, I can't apply for scholarship, no, you will apply for something called financial aid. Here only need matters. Merit is something that we've already checked in our 1, 2, 3, that is application aptitude interview process, and that's why you've received the offer in the first place. Okay, once you receive the offer, we look at your finances, documents, verify, and then tell you how much fee will you be paying based on your financial background. I hope that made it clear. Does anyone have anything to add here? Anything? All right. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. How's Ashoka when it comes to a package or placement? Okay. So last placement cycle, the highest package was around, I think, 35 lakhs per annum, which was by Hindustan Unilever. And the average package was around 12 lakhs per annum, approximately. You can check the packages, the industry, and everything in the career section at Ashoka University, the placement section. The link for the same has been put in the chat box, so you can go over this. Also, we always tell our students that our placement process begins from the first year. End of first year or around your second semester, we open with our internship cycle. A lot of companies come to campus for internships. You go over your first internship if you'd like to. End of second year, you can go over your second internship. End of third year, third internship or full-time placement. And end of fourth year, full-time placement. Okay, so we offer you internships as well as placement, full-time placements, and also multiple workshops and talks to prepare you for them. Okay, yes, Anya, you had to add something here.
I just wanted to, as well as adding on to your point, we do have a lot of great placements. In fact, in terms of internships in the summer as well, we do have cycles that roll out every semester with the internship cell. Two things, of course, that Ashoka does offer as well, which I don't think we've covered, but we did have a lot of questions about. We offer summers and semesters abroad. And those are also a lot of like the semesters abroad are also need-based as well. So for financial aid children, they do provide a certain, like, of course, if you've been doing well and you have a good GPA cutoff and you're already on financial aid, Ashoka does have certain procedures for that as well. So there are summers and semesters abroad. We have a lot of tie-ups currently with some really good universities like Sciences Po in France. We have Yale University as well. We do have a very good tie-up for summer with the London School of Economics. So if Shaurya, yeah, you want to elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so as Anya said, we have multiple tie-ups. In fact, a very close friend of mine is going for the summer abroad to University of Berkeley to do a course in bio. So yeah, I think these are type of programs which no other university in India, I think like offers to this extent. So I think, yeah, Ziv, you want to elaborate more?
Yeah, so just one thing. So Ashoka also provides you the opportunity to like not only act as a TA for the for the courses which you've done in the past, but also work closely with your professors on research projects which they are working on. So I think that's a wonderful opportunity they have. And with these research project, it also helps you for your master's applications, because I know like Canada, for example, has the co-op opportunity where they work with a company. So similarly, if you do a research project or if you do internships, that basically balances it out for you too.
Yes, Anya.
Just one more quick clarification. They've said that declaring your major is in your second year, not second semester. In your second year, so you have a whole year to figure out different combinations, see what your interests are, explore different things. There's something known as a shopping week, which is the first week of every semester, where you can sort of like choose different subjects, go through different classes, and choose what suits you best. So they call that the shopping week.
Right. Thank you so much for adding that as well, Anya. Okay, so we started with fees and financial aid and then moved on to the packages. Both of these are available on the website. Please feel free to go through them. I've answered as much as I could given the time. Next question. In round two, the interviews will clash with our class 12 boards. Like round two assessment is on 22nd Jan, and I have my boards from 11th of Feb. May I know when will my interview be? Okay, so, you've given your assessment. After that, students, 1 week, 10 days ish after the assessment, students start receiving calls for the interview. Now, this happens batch wise. Not everyone gets the interview call on the same day. Some may get it later, some may get it now, whatever. And only those who are shortlisted will get the call. Not everyone will get the call. Okay. Now, once you receive the call, you pick date and time when you'd like to have your interview. Okay, it's not a confirmed date or time that, oh, you have to be there 1st February, 10 a.m. Be there or be square. So nothing like that. You pick your date and time. So don't worry about this. And just a correction, the assessment is not on 22nd of Jan. It's on 21st of Jan. All right. Okay, next question. Can I apply for another round? Suppose I apply for round two and don't make it. Am I eligible for round three? No. Unfortunately, you cannot apply in more than one round. If you've applied in round one and unfortunately you couldn't make it, there won't be a round two, three, four for you. That's why pick a round that you're comfortable with. Of course, you can apply in the next cycle, which is next year, but you cannot apply in more than one round in the same cycle. All right. I think this is a question for one of our students. What are some career prospects for pursuing computer science and math?
So from the knowledge that I know, since I'm still a second year, the for your career prospects, it's you've got the same application portal as any college that's giving a BTech degree, as Ashoka provides you with a BSc degree. So in India, a BTech degree still has more validity, but you're still applying to the same, you still have the same job opportunities as someone with a BTech degree. When it comes to applying abroad for masters, you will like Ashoka has a really good placements for like foreign universities, especially in the top US universities, top Canadian, and top UK, top European. So basically all over.
Thank you so much for adding to that, Sif. Also, just want to let you know that if you think that big tech giants, let's say Google or Microsoft, they're only recruiting from engineering colleges, then you're wrong. I have one of my batchmates working in Google right now. I have my batchmates working in the research arena of Microsoft right now. So yes, tech giants like Google and Microsoft do hire from Ashoka. Yes, Yash, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, so like if you do a undergrad in mathematics, there are a lot of opportunities there, except for going in academia. There, like you can go in statistics, or there is something called actuarial sciences, which is very a lot math based, or like a research analyst, or like going into finance. Today's finance is like 70-80% mathematics. So if you're good in maths, or like you've done a undergrad degree in mathematics, then you'll be good at it.
Thanks, Yash. Thanks for adding that. All right, here's another question. Please explain the letter of recommendation. How can I give my best letter of recommendation and how do I submit it? Would anyone like to cover? Shora, do you want to cover this question? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Right. So a letter of recommendation is generally given by a teacher or by somebody who's very close to you and who knows you, right? I would suggest that you should ask for letter recommendation by somebody who knows you for a minimum of like 3 to 4 years, so they can actually write a letter which is very personalized to you, right? For instance, I got my letter of recommendation from my career counselor who knew me for like 5 years because of Mall United Nations. So yeah, I think that's it. This was a question, right?
How do you submit the letter of recommendation?
I think we have a particular place where we can attach files for the LOR.
Shora, that would be incorrect, unfortunately. Ziv, you wanted to add here?
Yeah, so just for the letter of recommendations, you can have more than one letter. So if you do plan on sending more than one letter, I'd like just suggest to keep it like a diverse thing, where like one is mainly related, where one could be mainly related to your course. So like say in my case, my computer science professor, and one like another professor that you've like closely worked with, because for like my school in specific, we could just have letter of recommendations from our teachers and
Okay.
not outside of the school.
Okay, so I would like to add slight correction to Shaurya and Ziv here. You can attach only one letter of recommendation now, okay? And you don't upload the letter of recommendation. Audience members, please note, you don't upload the letter of recommendation. Let's say Mr. Shaurya is my maths professor and he's going to write my LOR. I will mention Mr. Shaurya's email ID in my application. And then once I submit my application, Mr. Shaurya will get an email saying that Ms. Priya has nominated you to submit the letter of recommendation. And then Mr. Shaurya will submit the letter of recommendation for me. I don't play any role in this exchange. All right. So thank you, Shaurya. Thank you, Ziv. Right. So I'll just take a couple of more questions and then we can wrap up. Is BSc psychology and biology open for me too, since I am not a science student? Yes, these subjects or these majors are open to non-science subjects, sorry, students as well. There are only four subjects that have a requirement of mathematics, and those are economics, computer science, mathematics, and physics. Physics additionally requires physics. Keep that in mind. Of course, all of this information is also available on the website, so you can take a look at that. How much preparation is needed for the aptitude test? All right, who'd like to take this question? Yash, you want to?
Like if
Anya
you're
will come to you.
like if you're like in my experience, if you're studying for boards, I assume like you're being like it's like basic maths and like more aptitude or logical reasoning which is being tested. So like if you prepared for SAT or SAT or like or you're like it, I think you'll be good enough to do that. Like I don't think you need to do a lot of prep for that. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you. Yes, Anya, and Ziv.
Yeah, so I think Yash pretty much covered it. But definitely you do would require it honestly depends from person to person. I would say a month is a good place to be, or longer if you need be. I think you should go over the material, see how long it would take you, what background have you taken those subjects before. So they're very logic-based sort of analytical questions, especially if you've given, for example, law exams or the SAT before. So that is something that is very, very beneficial as well. And I would say a month is a good place to be, or longer. So definitely practice the different sort of materials that I've given. And Ashoka does provide you with like a lot of materials on the website as well.
Yeah, there are sample papers available in case you need some reference. Yes, Ziv, over to you.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that Ashoka provided sample papers. So just another thing is, I think when a tip you could do is when you're answering the sample papers, if you also time yourself, I think that would really help, because it's a very different atmosphere when you're just skimming through the questions as to when you're actually writing the paper. So if you just time it and like keep it as the same working conditions as you would when you're actually writing the fine like your fair or like your fair paper, I think that would really help you.
Thanks for that, Ziv. But I would like to emphasize on what Anya says. It's different for everyone. I appeared for AAT back in 2017, and I was one of those people who walked in with zero preparation. So it really depends from person to person. But you would want to look at the sample paper because you need to see, you need to look at what to expect. All right. So with that, I think we have come to the end of the session. Thank you, panelists, for taking out time to participate in the session and share your journeys and answer some of very interesting questions that our audience members had. Thank you, audience, for joining us today. We hope this webinar was helpful in knowing more about the student life at Ashoka University. We would really appreciate if you could take a minute to share your valuable feedback with us. The link to the feedback form is provided in the chat box. Please note that the recording of this session will be available on Ashoka's YouTube channel in case you would like to share it with your friends or come back to it later. Now, I know a lot of questions in the chat box have not been answered. So please note that you can join us for our in-person open houses being held next week on 6th and 7th of January 2024 across various cities. The details for the same are on your screen. We urge parents and students to attend and clear their doubts. Additionally, if you have started your application, you've already been assigned a counselor. If you have not started your application, once you do, you will be assigned a counselor. You can ask your queries to them. If you'd like to connect with our students via those counselors, you can do that as well. The next webinar in our undergraduate series is scheduled for Monday, 8th January at 6 p.m. with the Office of Admissions at Ashoka University. And we will be addressing all your queries regarding Ashoka undergraduate admissions process. The registration link for the same is in the to our admissions committee, the head of admissions, and ask your queries directly. Before we end the session, I would like to inform our audience that the deadline for round 2 of the undergraduate program is 10th of January. I would encourage students to start early and get a confirmed offer of admission as well as financial aid even before your final board results are announced. For more information, you can always write to us at ugapply@ashoka.edu.in or contact us on the numbers given on the screen. This brings us to the end of the session. Please take care.